right, welcome back. Michelle Casada here with WPTV, here with Carolyn Leibowitz. She's a travel advisor with Cruise Planners, and Stacy Faulds, a recent passenger on a cruise ship out of the 4th of July weekend out of Miami. And we're talking cruising. For those of you who were part of the previous discussion we had, I had a couple of technical issues, but we're back on again, and we're here to answer your questions about the cruising industry. And, you know, Carolyn, where we had left off in our previous conversation, I was trying to ask you about the unvaccinated versus vaccinated passengers on the ship. And, you know, one of the most noticeable things is that those unvaccinated passengers will have to wear a mask the entire time they're on the ship. So I know the cruise ships in Florida are not requiring people to show proof, but what happens if you do not show proof that you are vaccinated?
They consider you a non-vaccinated guest. So there are certain areas on the ship that non-vaccinated guests could not enter. The casino, they could not enter. Many of the lounges, like the bars, they could not enter. The ice skating rink, they could not enter. They could definitely go into the showroom. They designated for like dining. One of the levels were for vaccinated guests, and then the second dining room level was for unvaccinated guests, as well as in the showroom. They did the same thing. So they can still sail. If you're vaccinated, like on the Freedom, I'm sure Stacy did this, we just had to wear our masks when we left our cabin and we were actually walking to a venue. Once we got there, whether it was the Windjammer or the pool or dinner, we could take our mask off. But the unvaccinated guests are supposed to be keeping the mask on the entire time, except for when like they're dining and having a drink.
And many people will ask, so how will the cruise on the ship know whether you're vaccinated or not if you're not required to show proof of it?
Well, I think they're just asking you, they can't require it. I'm not saying they requested it when we walked in, but I think you just have to volunteer to give your proof that you are vaccinated. That's what they're looking for. If you don't give the proof, then you're going to be considered an unvaccinated guest because they don't know that you're vaccinated. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And Ashwin has a good question too. He's asking, are the cruise lines adding cruises for vaccinated guests only? And I'm assuming that not out of Florida right now.
Well, it's funny. There's other fellow cruise planners, franchise owners that are on other sailings. For instance, the Celebrity Edge. Now, supposedly the Celebrity Edge is for only vaccinated guests, and they do not have to wear their masks when they're on board. So I think it just all depends on what cruise line you're going to cruise and what are their protocols that they have put in place, because it sounds like they're all going to vary on what their protocols are.
And if I can add to that, that's why I found it was very helpful to book my travel with a professional. I use Cruise Planners as my travel advisor, because they can really, find a cruise that's right for you based on your lifestyle, your concerns, your budget. And so that really helped me make my decision.
Another question too, someone asked, what if passengers lie? And correct me if I'm wrong, Carolyn, but there are some cruise lines that will give you a bracelet if you show proof that you're vaccinated. So if you don't have that bracelet, the crew will know that you're not vaccinated. Is that correct?
Correct. Right. And they will ask you to leave a venue, or like the Solarium was for only vaccinated guests. So if they didn't see that wristlet on you and you came and you got in the pool, they would say to you, you don't have your wristlet on, you can't be in the Solarium. That's how Royal Caribbean is doing it.
Yeah. And I want our viewers to know too, those of you joining the conversation, we have a full day of coverage planned on this, through our 5 and 6 p.m. newscast hour, where we are talking about legality of issues as well, when it comes to vaccinated versus unvaccinated. So this forum is more just talking about, what cruising looks like, what you can and can't do, what's different on board. And, as Stacy mentioned, in the story we ran this morning in our 6 o'clock newscast, cruising is really still everything that you hoped it would be. I mean, it was still an amazing vacation, even with the safety changes that you've seen.
Correct. Absolutely. I think it's even better. I think it's the only thing that's not there right now is really the activities and events where you have large groups of people. That really, Stacy, you agree? That was really the only difference. Yeah. Everything else was the great cruising experience, fantastic, but they're not going to have the big Novel Quest, because they don't want to have crowds of people together. They want to keep you safe. So now that's not happening, but that could be happening, in a few months or next year, because it can change every day in the industry as to what's going on. What I thought that was so great, I love the debarkation, because what they did different now is that you got a piece of paper in your cabin showing all the different times that you could disembark the ship, whether you had a flight or whether you were just a walk off, or like us, driving home in Florida. So you picked the time and you just went and had your breakfast, and then you came back to your cabin and you just waited in your cabin until they called your number, and then you could disembark the ship. I thought that was awesome.
That was great.
You didn't have to worry about sitting in a lounge with, 300 people, and, everybody's anxious to get off the ship and go home because, life is returning to normal. We walked back to the ship, we got our stuff together, and then we walked off, and I was like, wow, this is, it was fantastic. That was, to me, a great positive change. And I'm hoping that they keep that, but I don't know if they will keep it.
And Meryl is bringing up that she's going on a cruise in 3 weeks. Congrats, Meryl, on your vacation. She says she'll be wearing a mask in crowded places. Stacey, did you see a lot of people wearing masks on the ship anyway, just as a safety precaution?
I did. Yeah, I think there were a lot of guests that were definitely wearing their masks in all the areas, walking into the venues, walking down the promenade. There were a lot of people that had their masks on. I mean, we did. We had our masks on, and then we would just take it off wherever we were going.
I would compare it to just everyday life where you are. So if you would walk into a restaurant or into a grocery store wearing a mask, then in the public areas, like Carolyn said, when you're walking down the hallway or you're walking to a venue, you might feel more comfortable wearing a mask. I did. Right. But then when you get to your destination, or when you start eating, like in a restaurant, you take the mask off. We did not have to wear, when you're outside, which we were outside a lot. You can't tell by my tan, but I was outside a lot.
Right.
And you could take your mask off and feel very comfortable. There was a breeze in the air. There was social distancing. It was not, chair after chair. They had chairs in between that were blocked off so that everyone felt comfortable and safe.
And that's like one of the number one questions that people ask me, clients ask me all the time is, will I have to wear my mask outside? I think that's one of the most crucial questions that people have, because like Stacey said, people are used to wearing it inside now, but it's like, oh, do I have to sit by the pool and have my mask on, or go in the pool and have my mask on? No, you do not have to wear it outside.
And if you want to jump in and answer Jackie's question, she's asking if Royal Caribbean will do away with mask on board if you're vaccinated in the near future. If you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. Is that correct?
In my experience, you still had to wear the mask when you're walking to a certain place. If you're walking from your cabin to dinner, I wore my mask. And everyone I saw was wearing their mask too. But then when you got to dinner, you took your mask off if you were vaccinated. Same with the show. Walking to the pool, you're walking down the hallway. And then when you get to your destination, then I took the mask off.
Yeah. I mean, they even have signs up, in areas on the ship that they do say, have your mask on. But like Stacey said, I was at first like, oh, I'm going to have to wear a mask. But you know what? We're so used to it. It was just like we put it on and we got to where we had to go and we took it off. So it's normal now. It's almost like the new normal to wear your mask.
And I want to bring this up too, for people who are asking those questions, this is an ever evolving situation. I mean, we're already seeing that right now the cruises are going at smaller capacities, but that's going to continue to increase throughout the summer and the fall. So, with our situation now, right, Carolyn, might be different in the fall, or if you book for a winter cruise or next spring.
Correct. And we were talking to some of the staff on board, some of the crew, and yes, they're going to eventually, they're going to add more guests, every cruise. They said probably through the end of the year, they'll get it up maybe to like 75%, but then hopefully, I think they will in 2022, we'll just go back to 100% capacity. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen, but you never know. That's what I think.
Yeah. And Qual has a really good question. Also, are there cruise lines allowing kids under 12 that aren't even allowed to get vaccinated on board? It's my understanding Holland America won't allow anyone unvaccinated on board.
Well, Royal Caribbean had kids on board, so I know they are allowing them and they are unvaccinated. I think they have to get a COVID test Stacy, is that correct, right?
That I didn't travel with young children, but that was my observation.
Yeah, I was really surprised at the amount of families. I thought it was very positive. I thought there'd be a lot less families with kids, but there were a lot, which I think is great. So they did.
I can briefly answer Qual's question too, because I've done a bit of research on this for the stories that we're covering today. So if you go to each individual website of the cruise line that you're trying to cruise with, they have Q&As on there that explain out of what ports and what dates will they start requiring children who are 12 and up to be vaccinated. Not requiring in Florida, but asking for that vaccination, because they can't require it in Florida. However, if you are cruising out of any other port outside of Florida, you will be required to show proof of vaccination. And especially there are already sailing dates out of Seattle and Galveston where they will be requiring those kids that are 12 and up to show proof of vaccination as well.
Right. So it's what Stacy said, really, it's really the best to book your vacation, your cruise with a travel advisor, because as you can see, every line is different. Every line has different protocols. So it's best to call an advisor that knows everything, or even if they're not sure, they can say, let me find out the current regulations right now for, the cruise line and the sailing that you're going on. I think it's very important. If not, people are going to be lost. They're you know what I mean? They're not going to know. And you don't want to get to the pier and, not be prepared to know what's going to happen. I think it's really important. And I think more and more people are realizing it's very important. And everyone should use a travel advisor, because we have the information, or we can get the information. Basically.
And, another thing too, I wanted to bring up, Carolyn, is the fact that not every cruise line has a date already that they're cruising. So for people who are asking now, because somebody asked about Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line, do you know which cruises are already booking for summer, fall, winter dates?
I think, I'm going to go sail on a test cruise for Norwegian coming up in August. So I know Norwegian is looking to get back on like August 15th. So I'm doing a 3-night on the 11th on the Gem. So I know they're getting ready to do their test cruise. And I think they're allowing guests to book for the fall and the winter. It just depends on, if the sailing is going to sail or not, based on, all the crew has to be vaccinated. There's a lot that has to happen to get the ships back out. So that's why they're doing it in a, steps. They're letting so many ships sail, and then the other ones will happen. So I think by the end of the year, most of the ships are going to be back in the water.
Yeah. And to answer the question we had about Bahamas Paradise. So from my understanding, they had a test cruise that was going to sail out July 13th. That didn't happen. That got pushed back to July 24th was the date that we last received. But we are airing an entire update on what Bahama Paradise Cruise Line is doing today at 6:00 on our newscast. So we'll have all those answers for you, Debbie. I know we have a team that's working on this for today. All right. So anyone else who has questions, we want to take your questions. I know there are a lot of people who say they won't get on a plane, they won't get on a cruise, and that's okay. A lot of people aren't ready to go on vacations. For those who are cruising, I wanted to talk, Stacy, you had talked to me about the touchless experience and just how convenient it was to order things. Tell me a little bit about that and what people can expect if they go on a cruise now.
Sure. And it kind of ties into what Carolyn was mentioning about how technology and today's world kind of enhances the cruising experience. It did for me. So aside from, every cruise line has an app. So the one that I went on was Royal Caribbean. I had an app on my phone. I used it on board. You can navigate almost like a map. You can use it to see show times. You can reserve your show times ahead right through the app. Embarking was super easy. You have a time to arrive. They're trying, I guess the whole staggered thing for disembarkation was for embarkation too, for getting on the ship. Everything is staggered so that they don't have bottlenecks with crowds. Right. So there's a time slot and you just kind of walk in when it's your time, and it's very, organized. I used my phone in the dining rooms. So just like in restaurants today where there's the QR codes to read the menus, that was the new experience on board. So drink menus, everything was very contactless. Drink menus in the specialty dining and the regular main dining restaurant, and you just scroll through and order. I'm trying to think what else was, and then the disembarkation, like Carolyn said, was piece of cake. So yes, you choose your time, you wait in your stateroom, you turn on the TV and it says, now serving group number 3, and then group number 3 proceeds to the elevators. That way there's no big crowds with their luggage, in the hallways waiting to disembark. Very smooth.
Did you ever feel like you, like when you went to the buffet or show or anything like that, did you ever feel like you were in a crowded area, or were you pretty in control of being able to stay distance from people?
Well, on this sailing, like Carolyn said, it was not even half capacity. So it was just, one of the starting cruises. So as they're phasing them in, I suppose they'll get more and more crowded. But right now, it was no lines anywhere. It was great. Very warm and attentive service. The crew was all vaccinated. They were all wearing masks also, but you could see them smiling genuinely from behind their masks. They were so happy to have us on board and to return to cruising.
Yeah, they were so excited to be back to work. It was just, they were beaming, they couldn't do enough for you. And they were everywhere. Like, remember like Stacy said, I think her cruise was 600 people. Mine was 1,000. There was crew everywhere, like helping you with anything and everything you could possibly want. And they're just so happy that they're back working and they're back around guests and doing what they love to do. And another thing that I was impressed about with the touchless, I'm a big coffee in the morning on the balcony. And now what they do is when you do room service, you put your little card on your door before you go to bed, and they come in the morning with the tray on one of the rolling carts, and they knock on your door and you take your tray. So they're there, they say good morning, and you take the tray, they keep the door open. So they never touch that tray, and you take it into your stateroom. So I found out that was just another great thing that, and like Stacy said, the app was unbelievable. I mean, you could look up anything. You could be sitting there by the pool and going, oh, what are we going to have for dinner? Where years ago you had to go down outside of the dining room, the menu, posted. So it's so easy that, everything, the app was fantastic.
Yeah. And like Carolyn says, at least when I vacation, when I'm eating lunch, I'm already planning what I'm going to eat for dinner. So having it on the app was great.
Yeah. A lot of people too are asking, we've had other questions about those who did have cruises booked, prior to the pandemic. They obviously received, vouchers to be able to cruise at a later date. Lori Franklin's asking a question. Can we receive a refund if we don't feel safe cruising, but bought a cruise prior to being aware of COVID?
For the future cruise credits, you can request a refund if the cruise line cancels. So if the cruise line cancels the sailing due to, maybe the ship's not ready to go out, the crew isn't vaccinated, you can request the refund, but the cruise line has to cancel it. If not, you're going to get the future cruise credit, basically.
And those credits is there a date when they expire, or how long are they good for? Does it vary from cruise line to cruise line?
I think it varies from cruise line to cruise line. For like Royal Caribbean, you have to sail by like December of 2022. I'm sorry, September of 2022 with their future cruise credits. But other lines, they may extend it. It just depends on the line, really.
Yeah. So if you don't feel safe, let's say in Lori's case, she has a cruise that her credit, and I don't know what your situation is, Lori, but if your credit expires, like you said, September 2022, just throw a date out there. If she doesn't feel safe cruising by then, are there any other options for these passengers who don't want to lose that credit, but also don't feel safe cruising just yet?
I think, and Stacy, you may, another very important thing with cruising is to purchase travel insurance, and I think there are a lot of guests that really don't understand what it is. And most people say, oh, I don't need it. I'm going. But with COVID, it's different. So I think through using, like with cruise planners, we use Allianz and they're phenomenal. We have our own policy with them, which is our worldwide travel protection. And it does cover, medical, if you're on vacation, you get COVID. And now I know it does cover you before the cruise if you got sick and have COVID. But I'm not sure about if you're just scared to go back on a cruise. Stacy, do you know anything more about that?
I don't know, but as a traveler, I always buy travel insurance.
Right.
It's something that my travel advisor discusses with me because you just never know. You could twist your ankle the day before and now you don't feel up to, an active vacation. You could have someone that you're caring for could come down with something, or in my case, there could be an emergency at work. And so that protects you so that you can cancel and not lose.
Lori, if you can, Lori, if you don't mind sending me an email, michelle.quesada@wptv.com. I'd like to learn more about your situation and find out, what can be done for those passengers who have those credits expiring and maybe they're not ready to use them yet. So if you can email me and let me know, we can look into that for you.
And we can find out the answer. Definitely.
Wendy, the answer to your question, when will you schedule a non-vaccinated cruise? The CDC is requiring cruise ships to sail having 95% of their crew vaccinated, of their passengers vaccinated. That's what on the CDC's website. So it's not when the cruise lines want to schedule a non-vaccinated cruise. They're being ordered by the CDC. In order to sail, they have to have 95% of their passengers vaccinated. So just want to make sure that doesn't get lost in translation on here.
Another thing, Michelle, really quick on that is that it also would depend on her sailing. Was she paid in full? If she wasn't and she only made a deposit, it's going to depend on the cruise line that she booked with, whether that deposit is refundable or non-refundable. Because if she didn't make a final payment, and let's say her deposit was refundable, if she was scared and hesitant and didn't want to sail, if it's before final payment, she can get the deposit back. So it's also going to depend on where she was as far as her payment and which line it was with, because there's various price points based on a refundable or a non-refundable deposit.
Absolutely. And then, protocols too, has that changed? Have you been hearing from different cruise lines what the protocols are if someone tests positive on a ship? A lot of people are afraid to cruise thinking, well, I don't want to cruise and then get isolated in my room for 2 weeks or get stranded out at sea like we saw prior to, when the pandemic was ramping up.
So I think what's happening, and I saw it on the Freedom in the Room, there's actually a card in your room when you enter your cabin. And they do tell you that if at any point you feel, sick, you have a cold, whatever, to call the medical facility and not leave your cabin. So I think what they're doing is they want to keep everybody safe on the ship, and they just want to, isolate the guest, have the medical team come up or the doctor, find out, do a test, do they have COVID? Do they not? And then I know if you do, they will get you off the ship, whether it be in the next port of call, and then it doesn't interrupt the cruise for the other guests on board the ship. They wouldn't be on the ship for 2 weeks. I mean, I think that just happened when COVID first came out and we really didn't know anything about it. But now that we know more, they know what to do.
Protocols have changed.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I just want to clarify too, because Wendy's asked a follow-up question about the other 5%. Why is that okay? Florida is the only state where there are unvaccinated passengers going on cruises. If you look at the CDC's website, they had ordered cruises to completely have vaccinated passengers. In Florida, our governor had filed a lawsuit that bans basically from cruises having to require you to show your vaccine confirmation, your vaccine card. Right. So Carolyn, if you can kind of talk a little bit about the difference if you cruise out of Seattle or Galveston, what you'll be required there versus cruising out of Florida, what that looks like.
As far as I know, Royal Caribbean has the Adventure of the Seas that's sailing out of Nassau, and I know Celebrity has the Celebrity Summit sailing out of St. Martin. And both of those ships, you must be vaccinated in order to sail. So there's no question of if you're not vaccinated, can I get on board the ship? It is mandatory that you have to be vaccinated, and then of course you'll sail. So, once again, I think even at Seattle, you have to be vaccinated. It's really only here, like you said, in Florida, where the law is in effect. And, now this is what's causing that there's, vaccinated and unvaccinated. But to my knowledge, everything that's sailing out of the US, you have to be vaccinated. Totally.
And I have a question about that too, the 95% versus 5%. How do the cruise lines in Florida, those sailings out of Florida, how do they know they've reached their 5% quota of unvaccinated passengers? Like, how are they doing that when it comes to booking?
I asked that when it first came out, and I said 95%. Well, what does that mean? I think they're accounting that to the 5% is probably families with children. Now, I think this was before the vaccine has come out for, 12 to 16-year-olds, but they said that was the 5%. It is the children that are sailing with families. I don't know how they get to the
how do they figure out, like, okay, well, at this point we've already booked X amount of our passengers that are likely not vaccinated. So do they, when someone else tries to book after that, another family, do they say this ship is full? Like, I wonder how that works.
No, I think what they're doing, and that's a great question. I don't have the answer, but I think what happens with that is, I know with the ships, when they say this is the occupancy level we're going to be at, they close the sailing. So for like travel advisors or just regular guests that book, you can't book that cruise. And then I think from there, once you get to the pier and they find out, or you present your card, that's how they come up with the amount when they get to the pier as to how many people are vaccinated. But I think they're looking for at least 95% to be vaccinated. And I think by them doing the research in everybody that has sailed as of now or made a reservation, I think a majority of people are vaccinated. I mean, Stacy, can you elaborate on this? I think that's what it is.
I mean, in my experience as a guest, I'm trying to remember when I booked the cruise, I recall getting some kind of a notification saying, if you're not vaccinated, I think it had a link to click on to kind of arrange for your pre-boarding test. And it said, if you are vaccinated, click someplace else. So maybe they're counting through the clicks. I don't know. You'd have to ask Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you ladies answering these questions and all the questions we can answer. There's so many questions out there about this. And I want to remind, all of our viewers who have been joining in this conversation, you have the choice of where you want to vacation, how you want to vacation, if you want to do a cruise, if you want to fly somewhere, if you want to go on one cruise line versus another. So it's really important for people to kind of, like you said, talk to a professional. If you are planning on cruising, talk to a professional and see what's best for you. What are you going to get the most? How are you going to get the most out of your trip? And again, just kind of reminding people that, Florida cruising is a big economic impact to Florida. There's so much tourism that comes into Florida through cruising. So that's why this is an important topic that we are covering. And we have much more coming up on this today at 5:00 on WPTV. So I really appreciate everyone who asked questions. Carolyn, thank you for your time. Stacy, thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Have a wonderful day, and I hope you all tune in today at 5.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.